till I get my money right.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Quantum Ascent. I have PNUT the Squirrel up on the screen. Going to take a look at Altseason Targets waves 3, 4, and 5 for PNUT. So what I mean by that is that was 1, this WXY is 2, and right now waiting on 3, 4, and 5. Stuff sure is looking good across the board right now in the markets. Bitcoin taking off into new all-time highs. We have the total 3 and the total 2 altcoin markets hanging out and consolidating around their all-time highs as well. So PNUT, some of these other memes still waiting to play catch up here, but we do have some price appreciation coming. Now, the one thing I'll say about PNUT is it was released during that Trump pump in November of 2024. So not a ton of price action, right? Not a ton of price action and not a huge market cap for PNUT. Market cap only 220 million. So with that being said, we're going to try our best to come up with some targets. But guys, when a market cap is this small and a coin is this young, there's always a chance for a little bit of extra on a blow off. So what we have here, 5 after the initial pump up, is we have 5 waves down. We have these little blue waves. Let's turn these to green. We got 5 waves up in the blue 1, a WXY corrective wave 2. And like I mentioned, waiting on waves 3, 4, and 5 for alt season. Are we going to see a new high? What makes the most sense here for PNUT? But before I jump into that, guys, join the Quantum Circle entries, exit strategy, emotional and mental clarity, 2 daily macro videos, a whole lot more. Link to that in the bio. Guys, on entries and exits alone, you should be making back your monthly fees, so go check that out. All right, PNUT, where are we headed? First thing I see when I look at this whole structure here is it sure looks like we're expecting some massive downside in markets after this run up. So what I'm looking at that as is most likely an A, a B, and a C off into new all-time highs. Now, one of the ways to measure the C leg is we know that at minimum, it has to go the measured distance of the A wave. All right, let's take a look. How far did the A wave go? Take this bars pattern, pull it over. I'm going to take that from the bottom of this B wave. Where does that get us? Up here right around 530, guys. And that's a measured move just based on Elliott waves there. What the heck? There we go. Just based on Elliott waves, right? So I'm going to leave that there for the time being. You see that move. Another way we can look at it is based on the percentage measurement. This will give us another target, albeit I believe higher. That was an 8,000% move. This target, if we were talking about an ABC based on that, going to bring us up there around $9. So I'm going to leave those for the time being. This is just a measured move for an ABC, right? The minimum we're looking at would be right out there at that 530 when we just take the length. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to do now, let's get rid of this. You know where we're at, waiting on the C leg, waves 3, 4, and 5. Let's draw some fibs from the high here all the way down to the low right here. Sure enough, that second C that we had up around 940, pretty close to a full extension here on PNUT, right up around 1022. Now, here's what I'll say. That is a massive move from here. Right now at 200 million, a full extension, that's like a 45x, right? That pulls us right around a $9 billion market cap for PNUT. I'm not sure if that's happening or not, okay? These targets are up here. I wanted to show you that mathematically they're possible. There are ways that we get up there, but my base case is not going to be a full-blown top. Now, this will be our secondary target, right around $10. All right, in the case that it does get overheated and this thing just goes absolutely insane, which for a young coin with a smaller market cap, it could have extra juice. But again, not my base. All right, so let's hop in here. Where do we think this third wave is going? What I want to do is I want to take our drawdown here from the first to second wave, see if we get any confluence up into this area. Sure enough, we do. We have some confluence, the 3,618 of this range and the 0.5 of the larger range. The 0.5, really common area for us to get caught back up in on our way back up. All right, so looking at this with the confluence, I like that right there around $1.30. That 4236 is still possible for a third wave. Puts us up around a clean $1.50. Nice round number psychologically. That's a possibility as well. But for now, I want to see this third wave make its way up there. Now, typically, what happens. And this fourth wave is we'll come back down to test that zone sometimes, but with where we're at structurally, that'd be quite a bit of a drop. What I do like is that the 1618 of this range and the 236 of this broader range have confluence right here. Okay, so typically this fourth wave drop is going to be somewhere between 35 and 50%. PNUT being a smaller cap coin, probably closer to that 50% mark on the drop. So let's see what this right now would take us at. Bam, 48%. So it makes sense from a fib standpoint, also makes sense with the measured move that we were looking for on a knockback. All right, so if this is the third to fourth wave move, what are we looking at for a full extension of that? That brings us up here around the 336 if we were to go a full extension then, and that was our drop down here for the third and the fifth wave. What I'll say is I like this 1618 up here, pretty close to $4, a nice round number. Does give us a full extension of that. Also gives us a little room to play with. If this third wave is in fact up here and does go the full extension, and I pull this guy up, well, you see that it gets us up around the 1618 relative to where we were before, right? More confluence up there, right around the $4 mark for PNUT. And that, for me, is going to be, it's somewhere between the $4 and $5.30 range is my first high, right? If this is, in fact, an ABC, you'd expect to get at least up to the $5.30 range. Conservatively, I want to put us at $4 here. All right. What could end up happening then is this could be a little bit more complex. You could have like a WXY there. Slightly set a new high, but it's not a fully new impulsive move to take us off into a new count. That's a possibility. But for the time being, guys, what we want to look at to make sure we're safe is this wave 3 up here to $1.30, wave 4 back down to 68 cents, and then we blow off right there to about $4. Right now across the board in the market, a lot of the alts that we've been charting, we're looking at like a 10x. From where this is right now, you're still looking at a 17. So PNUT being a smaller cap, being a meme coin, there is a possibility it's going to get more gas and it's going to move a lot more violently. I mean, look at this back here. Just during the Trump pump inception, right? Look at that. How far did we go and how many days? This is Sunday, November 10th. I mean, this is a week. This thing went 31x in a week, right? So it can get carried away, but I just want to make sure that we're respecting the fibs. We're paying attention to the different price levels that we should be stopping out, and we're looking confluence on the larger time frame. So for PNUT, PNUT, this is what I'm looking at. Run up to $1.30, drop down to 68, and then a fifth wave up to $4. We do have a blow-off target up here of around $10 as well. I'll put that in the description. A lot's going to have to go right in order for that to hit, but I do have to mention it. It is a possibility here for PNUT, guys. Like I mentioned, join the Quantum Circle, real-time trades, access to my portfolio, 2 macro videos a day, a Discord channel, and I teach you how to do TA just like me. Link to that in the bio. If not, just super appreciative you guys are here. If you can follow, like, repost, I want to get this out to as many people as I can before it's too late. So hope everyone's having a great day. I will talk to you in a bit.